Live, San Bernardino, California, where a mass shooting event is now underway. Police confirm multiple people shot and multiple fatalities. There are local news reports of at least 12 people dead, though Fox News Channel cannot confirm that. We know as many as 20 people have been shot and that they're taking the victims to area hospitals. The witnesses have described the perpetrators as 1 to 3 men. Most often witnesses say there are 3 perpetrators, but in some cases they may have just seen 1. Multiple reports of the perpetrators being described as white men wearing masks and body armor. This all began just about 45 minutes ago at the Inland Regional Center. The Inland Regional Center is said to be a place where developmentally impaired people are served, some 32,000 of them in and around the area. Nearly 670 Inland Regional Center staff members provide services there. So 670 staff members in this facility, which is now on lockdown. There are 3 buildings here. One of them has been evacuated, according to authorities. Buildings 2 and 3, it's still underway. The Sheriff's Department has ordered all emergency personnel to evacuate those 2 buildings, and they now have what appears to be an active shooter situation and a standoff with SWAT teams underway now. This is a sort of trauma center area where authorities have been treating the wounded. We can presume, and only that some of them are shooting victims. Some may have been hurt in an effort to escape, but we've seen lots of people, and by that I mean dozens, maybe as many as 100, come out with their hands up, being frisked by police as the authorities try to make sure that none of those who are coming out as victims might actually be part of this melee. We have nothing to indicate what a motive may be here. I can give you a few bits of information about this area. The county municipal golf course is a stone's throw away. The international airport is about a half mile away. And from the maps at which we're looking, it appears 1,500 to 2,000 feet away from a Planned Parenthood center. That is not to say that this is in any way related to this. I'm letting you know what's around it, just so that we have some context and perspective of what's happening here. On the center of your screen now, you can see, again, people with their hands up, and authorities, according to Fox 11 in Los Angeles, our owned and operated station there, the authorities appeared to be working to mount an entrance of some sort. I told you a short time ago that the authorities had ordered all of their emergency personnel out of 2 of the 3 victims, and we're looking live through the facilities of the helicopter from Fox 11, and you can see authorities are on the move. The fire department, of course, in the yellow uniforms in the front, and then police and SWAT trailing there with a lot of people on their 2-way radios and their cell phones trying to figure out what the next step is, and what the authorities confirmed to us is still, at this moment, an active shooter situation, 45 minutes at least since it began there in Southern California. We're waiting for further tweets and official information from the Sheriff's Department as our Trace Gallagher watches along live with us from our Los Angeles newsroom, which is just inland from San Bernardino. Trace?
And just as you mentioned, Shep, there is a Planned Parenthood facility around the corner, but somebody brought up there might be a facility on the same campus as this. The sheriff has now knocked that down, saying that has nothing to do with this, so there apparently is no connection to that at all. You can see the parking lot set up here. What we're being told is they are separating people in 2 separate groups coming out of the building, those who were at one time or might have been hostages who were sheltering in place, and others who were witnesses trying to go through each group trying to find out what happened. Remember, the main focus here is to try to find out if there is still an active shooter situation inside one of those buildings. They are actively looking for an SUV they believe left the building shortly after the shootings happened. Again, unclear if that was a suspect who got away, but we do believe that police are looking for 3 different shooters who were carrying rifles, in ski masks, wearing protective gear, bulletproof vest, if you will. And it's unclear if they're still in the building, if they got out of the building. We heard a witness say earlier that someone actually tried in camouflage gear to force their way out of the building but couldn't get outside, so turned around and went back inside. The building right now is actually in kind of flux because they found at least 1 suspicious device inside, so they pulled out the first responders, and now the goal is to either detonate that device, to water it down, as they often do, to make sure that it does not pose a threat before they put people back inside that building. We noticed the 2 campus buildings there at the regional center. One of them has been totally cleared. That is the north building. That is the I take that back. The south building has been totally cleared. The north building, the second floor, has now been totally cleared of people. But again, the exact numbers of how many were held hostages, if any, or if the word was misused, or if in fact the people who were inside that building sheltering down have now been taken out. But as you can see, they are gathering everybody, which is standard procedure, checking everybody who comes out to make sure that they were not involved in this in any capacity at all, Shep.
Very concerned now, according to Kate